Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Star One's 65th annual meeting. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. We've taken a screenshot of an example of the attendee interface. You can open and close the control panel by selecting the orange box with the arrow. You should see something that looks like this on your computer's desktop in the upper right corner. You're listening in using your computer's speaker system by default. If you prefer to join over the phone, just select phone call in the audio pane and the dial-in information will be displayed. If you haven't done so already, please be sure you enter your audio pin by entering in your keypad what is listed. You will dial pound, then the number that is given to you, then another pound. You will have an opportunity to submit questions or comments to today's presenters by typing into the questions pane of the control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect your questions and address them during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. We ask that you omit any personal information in the questions box. If you prefer to vocalize comments or questions and you are joining the webinar using computer audio, please be sure your microphone is on and raise your hand as indicated in the slide. As previously mentioned, if you are joining us by phone, please be sure you enter your audio pin, which is located in the control panel and also circle on the slide. Again, you will dial pound, then the PIN number that is given to you, then another pound. Please raise your hand as indicated on the slide and we will be with you momentarily. There is an area where you can locate the handouts for today's webinar. If you look at your control panel, the tab will be labeled Handouts, and you'll be able to click the file and download it. I would like to now introduce Doug Flo, Board Chair.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to the 65th annual meeting. So my first job tonight is to call this meeting to order. So in order to do that, I'd like to check with our secretary, Trini Lee, and find out if we have actually had a quorum established. Trini, can you verify a quorum is present?
Yes, Doug. Based on the attendees list and the registration process of this virtual meeting, I confirm that we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If you'll notice in your handouts, there's the minutes, the secretary's draft of the minutes of the last annual meeting held on February 25th, 2021 was posted, and a copy is listed under the meeting handouts. Does anyone have any corrections to these minutes as distributed?
As a friendly reminder to our audience, information can be typed into the questions pane in your attendee control panel. Please feel free to enter any corrections to the minutes at this time. You can also raise your hand using the raise hand function, and we'll be with you momentarily. We'll give the audience a few more seconds. At this time, we have no comments.
All right, then. We'll take those minutes and we'll stamp them approved. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for joining our online meeting. As you heard, my name is Doug Flo. I'm the current board chair. On behalf of the volunteers and staff at Star One Credit Union, I'm honored to welcome you tonight as we celebrate our 65th annual meeting and our continued mission to serve all of our members' needs. Tonight, you will hear from myself, our board treasurer, Jeff Gott, our CEO and president, Gary Rodriguez, and our supervisory committee chair, Christina Goes. After the speakers, we will have time for a question and answer period from all of you. We count ourselves fortunate to have the opportunity to once again look back on another pandemic challenging year when our communities have been through so much. We watched with the world as the effects of the pandemic continued, fire ravaged our state, and social unrest also continued to rattle throughout our nation. Yet through this last year, there is still much to be grateful for and to celebrate. For Star One, the commitment and resilience of our staff and executive management and my fellow volunteers, and likewise all of you, our loyal and committed members, allowed us to continue serving members successfully during a year like no other. As ever, our strategy has been to use a sensible approach in managing the credit union and not overreact to any external factors. In February 2020, we expanded our field of membership and welcomed people living, regularly working, and attending school in several Santa Clara neighboring counties to join us. Over the last 2 years, new members from Alameda, Merced, Monterey, San Benedito, San Joaquin, San Mateo, Santa Cruz, and Stanislaus counties have joined us and continue to sign up for membership, open money market accounts, and file many loan applications. Star One also continues to focus on the growth just in Santa Clara County. And in this last fall, we relocated the El Camino branch to a new convenient location to serve even more members in the Palo Alto and Los Altos area. Star One is among the top credit unions in the United States. As of December 31st, we are now a member-owned credit union with more than 116,000 members. Our mission statement remains our focus: help members improve their lives by delivering valuable financial services. As challenging as 2021 was, we continue to assure members that they can feel secure about their deposits at Star One. Through the decades, we have weathered many economic storms and are well positioned to do so again. Our board of directors, our supervisory committee are all comprised of volunteers. Our board of directors come from various backgrounds, and they apply their decades of experience to be unpaid volunteers, helping Star One to remain one of the most successful credit unions in the nation. All of my fellow volunteers have given many hours from their busy personal and professional lives to donate their time to Star One. I am thankful for their time and their commitment. I'd like to extend a special thanks tonight to one of our volunteers, Scott Dunlap. Scott is a member of the board of directors and a past board treasurer. He is retiring after this meeting, and I want to personally thank him for all the years, time, and commitment he has provided to Star One Credit Union. Thank you, Scott. I've had the pleasure to serve with all the volunteers in many different committees and roles. In 2021, we continued to hold most of our committee and board members virtually, just like we're doing tonight. It has been a real challenge, but we continue to work as a team for all of you. Today, Star One has assets over $11 billion. We consistently achieve high member satisfaction scores and industry awards. The current world situation, which is changing daily, required us to be responsive and flexible to meet members wherever they were. Our popular financial education workshops, some of which were previously reserved for full capacity, were promoted online, through email, and conducted via live online webinars. This allowed members to attend conveniently from wherever they were. For the past 8 years, Star One was ranked #1 in the nation by the Credit Union National Association for providing the highest member value with low loan rates, high deposit rates, and low fees. These are amazing accolades in the credit union industry, and we, the board, the volunteers, and our amazing executive team will stay focused on providing the best products and services for our members in the future. For 2022 and beyond, the board and staff's vision is to continue building a strong, sound financial institution that contributes to the well-being of all of our members, employees, and all the communities we serve. You have my pledge that this commitment and dedication from the volunteers, the management team, and the staff will remain our focus. We do our utmost to also serve our communities. We are honored and proud to serve 63 local community organizations to whom we contributed a total of $900,000 in 2021. These organizations provide resources and assistance to individuals and families around the Bay Area. It is our belief that giving back to the communities we serve benefits us all. In addition, Star One employees also continue to contribute financially and in-kind donations and numerous hours of personal time to these organizations to help volunteers, veterans, families, children, homeless, all of those facing physical and mental challenges, local animal shelters, and the environment. We pledge to continue to grow our support in all the communities. The year ahead will hold many challenges as well, but also opportunities for growth and continued success. It will be the aim of the Star One Board, executive management, and staff to keep the momentum of success going in 2022 and well into the future. Under the pandemic and economic conditions of 2021, Star One staff stepped up and made a stellar performance for the credit union. On behalf of the board, we look forward to an even brighter year being stronger together. Once again, thank you for participating in the meeting tonight. At this time, I would like to introduce Jeff Gott, our current board treasurer, who will provide the financial summary overview for 2021.
Thank you, Doug. Good evening. Star One achieved another strong year financially. The return on assets for 2021 was 0.77%. Our net worth ratio remains strong at 11.15%. Our federal regulator considers a credit union with a ratio of 7% or higher to be well capitalized. Star One's total assets, excluding borrowed funds, increased during the year by 8.8% from $9.98 billion in 2020 to $10.86 billion in 2021. Borrowed funds decreased $38 million to $206.8 million in 2021. Star One did not borrow funds to leverage earnings, but rather to mitigate the interest rate risk associated with long-term fixed rate member mortgages held in our portfolio. Borrowed funds will continue to decrease as Star One is now controlling risks through less expensive financial tools. Membership increased 2.91% to 116,688. A total of 7,312 new members joined Star One during 2021. More than 63.9% joined from our community charter in Santa Clara and other counties. Another 33.3% joined through family members, while 2.8% joined through member companies. Over the past few years, we have seen very strong growth in new members coming from Santa Clara County at 47.2%. Deposits grew $920 million, up 10.67% from $8.63 billion in 2020 to $9.54 billion in 2021. Money market savings accounts grew 12.3% to $8.17 billion. Checking grew 15.4% to $637 million. Certificates of deposit decreased 11.6% to $349 million. Star One continues to pay higher deposit rates than most other financial institutions and does so without the gimmick products many other institutions offer. Loans grew 4.97% to $4.79 billion. Auto loans decreased down 1.32% or $3.56 million. Consumer loan growth was down 1.22%. Consumer loan delinquency remained low at 2.27% in 2021. Many new and existing members took advantage of Star One's low real estate loan rates as home prices continue to increase. Total first real estate loans increased 4.95%, up $185 million for the year. Our loan portfolio continues to perform much better than other credit unions and banks, both locally and nationally, with a net charge-off to average loans ratio of 0.02%. Our investment portfolio provides strong returns while maintaining safety and security. Star One does not invest in subprime debt. Star One continues to thrive and provide valuable financial services to our members throughout California and the nation. Our loyal membership and their extensive use of products, services, and automated delivery channels provides the resources for Star One to be one of the most successful credit unions in the nation. Now, I will turn it over to Gary Rodriguez for the President's Report. Thank you.
Good evening. And again, welcome to Star One's 65th annual meeting. Star One's mission to improve each member's life by delivering valuable financial services remains our focus. During the last year, several changes and enhancements were made to better serve our members and to further strengthen the credit union. We successfully moved the El Camino branch to a new building on San Antonio Road in Los Altos. The new site is centrally located and easily accessible to many of our members in the area. All Star One ATMs were replaced with state-of-the-art machines at each branch, the work sites of member companies, and at the administration office. Members have increasingly turned to our digital channels for their banking needs. This trend has accelerated even faster during the pandemic. Members enrolled in online or mobile banking increased 13.6% during the year and now represent 89% of total membership. 94% of these members are active users, an increase of 6.4% from 2020. To better serve these members, we launched a new service on our public website, starone.org, that allows members to communicate with Star One employees using live chat, audio, and video. A new automated system was also introduced to make refinancing auto loans faster and more convenient. Although the impact of COVID-19 continues, we are working hard to keep members and employees safe while providing a high level of service. All branches have remained open during regular scheduled hours since the beginning of the pandemic. We will continue to adjust and improve service we provide to ensure members' expectations are met and exceeded. Star One offered members who were negatively impacted the option to defer their loan payments. Of the 2,195 members who participated in the program, all but 3 have resumed payments or paid off their loan balances. Approximately 2.5 million of interest was deferred on these loans. In 2021, we granted or modified 3.1 billion of real estate loans and 418 million of automobile and other consumer loans, the most in Star One's history. Although a record amount of new loans were made to assist members to purchase homes, first-time homebuyers are being offered special terms and pricing through the end of the year to help them achieve their dreams of homeownership. We continue to offer valuable refinance programs with lower interest rates and fees than many other lenders. Alternatively, our interest rate modification program allows members to reduce their interest rates and avoid the lengthy refinance process. This year, 3,700 members with balances of $1.8 billion modified their loans to a lower interest rate. These modifications will likely save members over $10 million per year in reduced interest charges. Our total loan portfolio grew by 4.9% during the year. Despite these unprecedented loan volume, the outstanding balances of the consumer loan portfolio dropped by 1.1%. It appears members spent less on consumer products and had less of a need to borrow during the pandemic. Membership growth, which ended the year at 2.9%, was also lower than expected. Although we were happy to welcome the 7,312 new members, we did not reach our membership growth goal for the year. Some new members seemed reluctant to join during the pandemic. The 10.7% growth of savings, checking, and other deposit account balances was higher than expected. Providing members with the highest level of service and value is our strategic priority. Regularly, members are asked to participate in quality member surveys, a mystery shopper program, and other activities to evaluate the service they receive. This year's results of service quality were among the best ever reported by Star One and some of the highest scores in the entire industry. CUNA, the nation's largest trade association, considers each credit union's interest rates and fees and calculates the financial benefit their members receive. In their most recent report, they calculated that households that do business with Star One saved on average over $1,300 per year, which is the highest of any other credit union in the United States. The financial benefits to all Star One members combined totaled over $73 million. This is the 8th consecutive year that Star One held the top position. Star One was also recently recognized by Bankrate and GoBankingRates.com as the 9th best credit union or bank in the United States and the best in California. They cited Star One's convenient and innovative online and mobile banking services and our consumer-friendly interest rates and fees. 2001 was a very good year. Star One experienced strong growth and added to its financial strength and stability. Star One's success is a result of outstanding members, volunteers, and staff. So thank you for your many contributions, and let's look forward to continued success in the new year. I'd also like to recognize Doug Flo, our board chair, and board members Scott Dunlap and Marty Eng, who will be ending their many years of service as directors on Star One's board. Scott Dunlap started in 1996. Doug Flo started in 2000, and Marty Eng in 2005. Together, they served Star One for 65 years in a variety of roles. Scott, Doug, and Marty, thank you for your many contributions to Star One, the staff, and to me personally. We have all benefited from the enormous commitment of time and energy. You've done an outstanding job and will be missed. Chris Goes, Chair of the Supervisory Committee, will now provide a recap for her committee.
Thank you, Gary. The Supervisory Committee is responsible for providing the members with an independent appraisal of the safety and soundness of the credit union's operations and activities. It is our role to ensure that internal controls are established and effectively maintained, and that the Board of Directors' plans and procedures are being properly administered, and that the credit union's financial statements are a fair and accurate representation of the credit union's financial position. The 2021 internal audit program consisted of extensive evaluations of internal procedures and policies that promote operating efficiencies, providing safeguards against fraud, and ensure compliance with prescribed managerial policies and regulatory requirements. The committee reviewed numerous audits conducted by Star One's internal audit department, as well as audits conducted by third-party vendors who specialize in the particular area that was under review. Most recently, the committee reviewed the results of our financial audit conducted by accounting firm Moss Adams. None of the audits found any material issues or contained any significant findings. Based on the reports of the ongoing audits, as well as audits performed by third-party firms, the Supervisory Committee reports that Star One is operating in a sound manner. Moreover, the credit union's internal controls are effectively maintained to reasonably ensure that the Board of Directors' plans and policies and procedures are being properly administered, and that the final financial results are fairly and accurately represented in communications to the members. Now I would like to turn it back over to Doug Flo.
Thank you, Jeff, Gary, Chris, for your outstanding reports. And I also want to thank Gary for your kind words. Thank you. The next thing, item number 8 is unfinished business. Apparently there's no unfinished business based on the minutes that we have already reviewed and approved. So I'm going to move on to number 9, new business. Is there any new business topics for this year? If there is, please describe the new business online you wish to bring up in the question panel, and I'll give you a minute or so to do so.
Thank you, Doug. And as a friendly reminder to our audience, information can be typed into the questions pane in your attendee control panel. Please feel free to enter any new business at this time. You can also raise your hand using the raise hand function, and we'll be with you momentarily. We'll give the audience a few more seconds. At this time, we have no comments.
All right. We'll move on. All right. So there appears to be no new business. So now we'll move on to the question and answer session. We have staff waiting to respond to all of your questions. And I'm going to ask Gary to come up and our moderator to assist with this process.
Thank you for sharing all of this great information with everyone. We're now going to begin the question and answer session. We'll start by answering questions that were submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit questions through the questions pane in your attendee control panel. Please enter any questions now. If you prefer to vocalize your question and you are joining the webinar using your computer audio, please be sure your microphone is on and raise your hand as indicated on the slide. If you are joining us by phone, please be sure you enter your audio PIN, which is also located in the control panel and circled on the slide. You'll first dial pound, then the PIN number that is given to you, then another pound. Please raise your hand as indicated on the slide, and we'll be with you momentarily. If we are not able to get through all of the questions, a representative from Star One will follow up with you directly. We'll give the audience a few more seconds to respond. It looks like we do have a question from one of our audience members. William, please state your question.
I was wondering if we're going to be protected from any cyber attacks that are coming out of the war.
Thank you.
We have Steve Naylor, our Vice President of Information Systems. Steve, would you be, are you available to answer that question? Steve, are you there? All right, well, let me try that. Cybersecurity is one of Star One's top priorities. We've had extensive discussions about cybersecurity. There's a committee on the board that focuses specifically on that. And then staff devotes a tremendous amount of resources and time and energy to it as well. With respect to the in the news that's occurring in Russia and Ukraine, you know, we are following that. We are, you know, it's a there's a lot of information. We have vendors that we work with, government officials and agencies that we are interacting with and taking every step we can to ensure that you know, Star One is as protected as we can possibly be. You know, it's hard to say that, you know, there's no vulnerabilities. We don't think there is. We're not aware of any, but you know, there's always a risk in that with cybersecurity. So I don't know if that answers your questions or your question. I'd be happy to try to you know, address any other questions you might have.
If there are any further questions or comments, please feel free to include them in the chat, or if you would like, please raise your hand and I'll be happy to unmute you. We'll give the audience a few more seconds. It appears we do not have any further questions at this time. For our audience, if you need any additional information, please feel free to send an email to partners@star1.org. Again, that's partners@star1.org. This concludes our Q&A session for today. We will now move to the declaration of nominees elected by general consent, which will be led by our board chair, Doug Flo.
Thank you all, and thank you for calling in tonight. And we appreciate any comments we get. So if you want to send them in, we'd be glad to work on those after the fact. So tonight's nominations, the nominations for our board and our supervisory committee closed on October 27th, 2021. According to our bylaws, no nominations for the board of directors or supervisory committee can be made after that date. When there is only one nominee for each vacant position, the credit union may declare those nominated by our volunteer committee to be elected, and no ballot therefore is necessary. The following candidates have been elected by acclamation to a 3-year term. For the board of directors, I'm glad to welcome Jim Barnhart, Christina Goes, who moves from the supervisory committee, as you saw tonight, and Patricia Hamlicki. On the supervisory committee, for a 3-year term, we have Mel Flynn, Brian Lawler, and for 1 year, Kristen Mank. So I'd like to congratulate all of them for the next term and look forward to continuing to work towards the Star One goal. So going down through the agenda, this is where we thank you for joining us this evening. As you can tell, we've all done a lot of these meetings virtually. So if there's nothing further on the agenda tonight, I thank all of you. And I'm going to turn it back to the moderator at this time. Thank you and have a safe evening.
We would like to thank everyone for attending Star One's 65th annual meeting. Upon exiting the webinar, a survey will display. Please take a moment to provide us with feedback. If you have any other questions or comments concerning this meeting, please email partners@star1.org. On behalf of Star One Credit Union and our presenters, thank you for joining us today, and we hope you have a great evening.